Battle Warrior podcast is kicking back in gear. I am in Oshkosh. We are in the Venture Project studio, guys, and we're going to come at you with a lot of big time guests. So stay tuned, guys. All right, guys, welcome to the Battle Warrior podcast. I'm your host, Chad. Podcast where we talk about real things from the street, real stories, real journeys, and how people went through their journeys and built an extraordinary lifestyle. So, guys, on the other end here, we have the phenomenal Lincoln Kokaram coming in from what, Georgia?
Grayson, Georgia.
He's a Southern, I don't want to say Southern boy, but he's enjoying some Southern lifestyle right now. So, guys, Lincoln, welcome to the pod.
Thank you, Chad. Good to be here.
And like I said prior, we were trying to cut some topics off here. We're getting rolling. I'm like, time out. Stop it. So first and foremost, guys, if you want to learn a little bit of background here, he is the founder of His Business Partners. Dub me if I'm saying anything incorrect, man. Just jump in here and we can dub myself in, or dub yourself in here. He is the founder of His Business Partners. He also has a book. It's called With Passion: Stop Working, Start Performing, guys. So first and foremost, man, welcome to the pod. Welcome to all the amazing things you've done. And I'm excited to bring you on and tell people either about your amazing story or amazing part of the book and everything and why you're helping people going forward here. So welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here, Chad. It's when I look at the world, people tend to look at, you hear stories about people who have made it. But what about people who are still in the journey? What about people who are still in the journey? How do we help them to continue the journey and to aim high? Aim high. One of the best advice my mother, she was a saint, gave me when I was like about 16, 17. She said to me, son, and I'm giving it to you just as she told me, son, aim for the skies. If you aim for the skies, and you miss, you're going to fall on the clouds. And that's a fluffy, soft landing. If you aim for the clouds and you miss, you're going to fall on the mountaintops and that's going to bruise you up and you might even get some broken bones or something. That's going to hurt you, boy. And if you aim for the mountaintops and you miss, you're going to fall on the ground. You're going to die. They're going to scrape you off the ground. Chad, I've always aimed for the skies. I've always aimed for the skies. And I am a living testimony that those who attempt the impossible will achieve the improbable. One of the key lessons I learned is stop listening to naysayers. Stop listening to naysayers. People who tell me, well, you're not supposed to do that. Yeah, you're not supposed to do that. That's not for you. That's for, I grew up in an island. I grew up in the southern part of the island. And I remember I was a member, I'm still a life member of JC's International. It's now called Junior Chamber International. So I was running for president of Trinidad and Tobago, JC's. And some of the older members came to me and said, you ain't gonna win this, You don't even own a business. You're just a school teacher. All the reasons why I shouldn't run, but I didn't listen to them. I ran and I won. I won the elections. I went up and up and up. I became president of the West Indies JCs, vice president of JC's International. And that's how I came to this country. The JC's organization invited me to come here. That was like, talk about divine intervention, Chad. You're looking at a man who was born in an ajupa. And if, if your people look up what's an ajupa, it's a mud hut covered with thatch, was born in an ajupa. Those were some of the best times of my life, by the way. As a kid growing up, freedom kind of deal. But look at me. In 1984, I was vice president of JC's International, campaigning for executive vice president. In June of 1984, I get this phone call from the Secretary General of the World Headquarters, which at the time was based in Coral Gables, Florida. And we knew each other because I've been to meetings. His name is Richard. So he answered the phone. Hey, Richard. Hey, Lincoln, how's it going, man? Going great. What can I do for you? That's one of my favorite, when somebody called me, what can I do for you? He said, well, we know you're running for executive vice president, and we know if you run, you're going to win. Everybody loves you. You've done a great job for us. But we need a director of training and development at the world headquarters. And we have looked around, and we would like for you to be that person. Chad, I wasn't even thinking about it. I was having a great time in the islands. It was in paradise, And I said, wait a minute. Let me think about it. Let me pray about this. Give me a couple of days, I'll get back to you. He said, okay, take your time. I prayed about it. And, we all have setbacks in life. And sometimes a setback might feel as if it's the worst thing that's happening to you. And that might be setting you up for the next big thing that's going to happen to you. The year before I was divorced. And I walked away from everything because I'm not a fighter and I don't hold on to material things. I can always get back the material things. I can get it back. So I walked away. And I prayed about this opportunity that's been presented to me now. And I got a sense the Lord said to me, Lincoln, you need a break. It's a 3-year contract. Go. March 7, 1985. I landed in Miami International Airport with 2 suitcases in my hand. And the rest is history. It was this. I'm from a little island, 75 miles north-south, 50 miles east-west, 1.2 million people is the population. This organization is 85 countries at the time, 500,000 members, and they're calling me. That had to be a God thing, Chad. I didn't even apply for it. I didn't even know this opportunity was existing. And man, it was an amazing journey. I traveled all over the world. The only continent I didn't get to go to was Africa. But I've been all over and doing what I've found out that I'm designed to do. It's a calling. It's a gift to coach and train leaders. That was my mission. I wrote manuals, I wrote magazines, monthly newsletter. I did train-the-trainer programs. I wasn't working, John. Chad, I wasn't working. It was performing. And that's why in my book, With Passion, Stop Working, Start Performing. The world is a stage. The world is a stage, and we are all performers. We are all, I don't want to use the word actors because that's make-believe. We are performers. People are looking at those of us who have children, our children are looking at us. Our neighbors are looking at us. Our friends are looking at us. Even when we walk by a stranger in the supermarket, they're looking at us. And they're judging us based on how we perform. How we perform, how we treat people, how we perform. So you put your best foot out there. Every time, you never know who is looking and what the impact you make. A smile. Chad, a smile could make a big difference in somebody's life. Nobody else is smiling at them, but you smile. A good morning, a hello. How are you today, sir? When you are in the line at the supermarket and the cashier, normally they would say, how are you? I wanted to beat them to that and say, hey, how are you doing today? And I say, I'm doing good, but they're not smiling. I say, how come you're not smiling? And then they smile. And then I said, you see, you got such a bright light about you. You're always performing. It's ongoing. You always have to have your A game with you wherever you go. You don't know who you will touch in a positive, uplifting way. That's why I put the tagline of that book, stop working, start performing. I mean, we were told when we were kids growing up, you got to get a good education, work hard and to make a living. So the word work, think about it. When I say work, what kind of thoughts come to your mind? Oh my God, do I have to do this?
Yeah, I was going to say negative, but yeah.
I have to go, I have to go, and we hit the snooze button when the alarm goes off, and we're looking at the clock, for one of my, when I coach and train, I like to go, when I visit a big corporate office, I like to stand by the elevator at 5 o'clock in the afternoon and see the crowd of people just flowing through, and so, but stop working, stop performing is a whole different mindset. Don't go to work tomorrow. Go to perform. And guess what? You're getting paid for it. You're getting paid for it. Chad, too many people are just showing up, checking in and checking out. Checking in and checking out. That's why our world is in the mess it is in today. People are just showing up and checking in and checking out, and they're not giving their best. They're not giving their best. This is our time. This is our world. This world is, let's take ownership and give our best. Do our best. When I was much younger, I used to tell people in my speeches, I would say, what do you want people to say about you when you die? And one day I realized what a stupid question. And I hit myself on the face. I prefer to hit myself and have somebody else hit me. And Chad, and they thought, well, the person, they're already dead. They can't even hear what the people are saying. It doesn't matter to them anymore. So now I ask people, what do you want people to say about you when you hang up the phone after talking to them? Or when you hit that send button on that text or that email? What do you want them to say about you when they receive it? What do you want them to say about you when you pass them by on the highway, in the street, in the supermarket, in church? What do you want them to say about you? You see, we are writing our legacy every day. We are writing our legacy every day. People are not going to lie. People are not going to lie about you. And everybody, if you ask 1 million people, I would say 999,999 of them is going to say, I want people to say good things about me. Well, you're going to live it. You're going to perform it. And they will say it. That's life. That's whatever you do. Somebody once asked me, but this guy who is cleaning toilets, how can there be a performance? I said, it's not what he's doing, it's why he's doing it. And I experienced that first time. I was in a meeting in Orlando and went into the hotel, into the men's room, and this guy was cleaning the toilets. Chad, the guy was whistling. He had a big smile on his face, and his butt was sparkling clean. He knew the importance of what he's doing. Too often people don't focus on the importance of what they're doing. And then they get caught up in the muck. And they don't look at the big picture and the end result. Because you go to a fine restaurant and you have to go to the restroom and it's dirty. Would that turn you on or turn you off? Yeah, and you might not want to come back there. You wouldn't recommend it. The food could be great, the service could be great, but the place is dirty and smelly. You don't want to go back there. And the thing is, we don't take time to recognize these people for what they're doing. We take them for granted. And that's why I like to encourage people, recognize good performance in the moment. In the moment. You want people to continue doing good, catch them doing good in the moment and recognize them for it. And don't just say good job. You know, I like how you clean this place. It's looking so nice. Everybody else just walk in and walk out. They don't even say good morning to the guy. Be a difference maker. Somebody once told me recognition and appreciation should be served like champagne while it's still bubbling. In the moment. In the moment. And that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about, Chad. That's what the passion is all about. And that's what separates an average performer from a superstar. The heart that we bring in what we do, the passion that we bring to what we do every day. And you know what? When you turn on the passion for what you do, for your performance, who do you think is the best benefactor? You. Because now you're having fun. Your stress level goes all the way down. You know, you're helping people. You're making a contribution. You're making a difference. You're making this world, your world, a better place. You know, and you know, the medical field has proven that stress is accountable for most of the major illnesses, but it can be managed. And I'm here to tell people, if you can turn on the passion for what you do, and if you could stop working and start performing, your stress level is going to go all the way down. Life will become a joy, a joy. I know you're going to be looking forward to tomorrow to go to perform.
I'm going to jump in here and explain exactly what you just the last 5 minutes. And I know you kind of were teasing me a little bit with how much I sleep. You're sitting there and I'm going to say you're giving me the dad tone a little bit, but the reason why, like, people ask me straight out, they're like, how do you keep going? And some of you guys that are close to me understand I work for a manufacturing facility. So I put 8 hours in the morning. It's from typical like 4 to 2, which is 10 hours, but like a 6 to 2, 4 to midnight, 4 to whatever. But in the range, I'm in the morning shift, just depending on what it is. So I'll put 8 hours in. I will drive 45 minutes back home, but depending on the day. I will work out for an hour and a half. And then I will come into my favorite place in the world, where I'm currently at right now, till about 8:30 at night, maybe 9 o'clock, depending on what it is. Tonight's 2 days, so it's probably gonna be 10 o'clock. Wake back up at 2:15 in the morning, keep doing it. And everyone's like, how do you like not get burned out? I'm like, part of my French, like I said, it's my show, but I love this shit. So it's
Yeah.
I love what it is, and it's really funny. Not even funny. It is amazing and an extraordinary feeling you get when all of a sudden, and I'm gonna do that noise. When all of a sudden you just figure it out why you're doing it, and it all just kind of goes like that. You can go for days and days and days, and people are like, "You're still here? You still here?" Yeah, they're like, "You." It's like, do you even sleep? Do you even have a girlfriend? Do you have a personal life or whatever? And I'm like, yeah, I have all that. And you make time for it. The reason for it is I'm feeling, just like everything, like a business, like it takes years to develop. But for me, I enjoy this process. For once in my life, I'm not getting yelled at by any boss is saying you got to act this way. You got to be this way.
Yeah.
I can be free. I can be true to myself. I can joke around and say I'm in a white t-shirt and a black hat and be the best, city country boy you can be. And I'm loving this. I'm loving every bit of this.
Amen. One of the statements I make in my book is, when the what gets too much And it will. We live in a broken world. Focus on the why. And I encourage people, make a why statement. Why do you do what you do? And look at the big picture. How does what you do impact others? What's your ripple effect? How does it impact others? And many times we don't know who we're touching, who we're impacting, but we do. We do. And make sure our words are pleasant, entertain pleasant thoughts, because I don't know about you, but I don't have control over the thoughts that come to my mind. What I do have control over are the thoughts that I entertain. I mean, look at your computer keyboard. Every computer keyboard has a delete button. And I tell people, what do you delete? Trash. They even have the trash can where it goes symbol, trash, spam, things that are useless. Similarly, the earlier you recognize those trashy thoughts, negative thoughts, hit the delete button, delete it from your mind and focus on the positive, uplifting thoughts. And watch what happens. Watch what happens. And encourage your people to do the same thing. My mother told me, I quote my mom a lot, show me your friends and I'll know who you are. Show me your friends. Associate with like-minded people. Associate with positive thinking people. Associate with people who would encourage you, not discourage you. Iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. We are here. Somebody once said, we are not just our brother's keeper, but we are also our brother's maker in many. That's why I love what I do, coaching, mentoring people, teaching people, showing them a different way, a better way, so that they can live their life to the fullest, to the fullest. Too many people are just going through the motions, my friend.
Yeah, and I'm not even gonna answer it saying they're afraid to go against it. It's not that. I don't even think they know they have an outlet to go against it. And it's not going against it. It's not even fear. And I mean, me and you can sit here and talk about fear and go against the grain and all that stuff. And we both can understand, because we both went against it, that it's a war. We'll just say it that way, and not to be negative or anything on that. It's a battle. You're going up a real steep uphill battle. But when we talk, when I'm noticing is the gap difference, and I'm going to explain it this way. So like the ones that all of a sudden take control of their mind, and then the ones that are still kind of in this, should I do it? Should I not do it? So like at the beginning stages of change in their life trajectory, I noticed that it's not the fear, it's the outlet of having someone there to help you say, okay, hey, I understand you're gonna be fearful. I'm gonna let you know this is gonna be common, but I'm also gonna let you know that if you take this route correctly, you're gonna love everything in your life.
Yep.
And for me, with obviously, like I have the warrior theme attached to it, I got the battle attached to it. With me, it is more looking at, and it's really funny to say this because I actually failed in college as a teacher, so I got kicked out of the teacher program. But it's funny how everything kind of circles back. But for me, it's about giving that culture. It's not even like giving a product. Like I don't even want to say it as a giving a product, but creating that culture of saying, okay, hey guys, we are the outliers. We are the people that are going to fight against the normal, average. We are the people that aren't afraid to speak the truth. We are the people that are going to reach back and show our God-given talent, show God, how God influenced all that, show us how to direct it, what it is. So what it is, it's someone like me and everyone around here works so hard to get our network of people. And like I was explaining on my Instagram, because this is quite funny, because everything I talked about is 20 minutes later, you're talking about the same exact thing. It's providing the outlet. to pretty much opening, and like I told everyone straight out, I am opening up my network and say, you want to talk about the Bible? Cool. I got a person for that. Go reach out to them. You know, you want someone to talk about engineering systems based? I got a person for that. Go ahead and talk to them. You know, you want someone to design a website? I got plenty of people for that. Go talk to them and say, okay, hey, you know, the connections are there. What you do with it is up to you. But what I notice is when you're at the starting stages, or you're saying all the naysayers, everyone's like, oh, you know, and I'm not rich. And I would say I'm not rich yet, but it's an uphill battle. I'm in the process. So whatever comes in goes out, and we're in the building stages. So when I look at people at the beginning stages and building stages, and I don't want to use the term end stage because there's never an end stage for us. It's just continuous growth.
Amen.
Yeah. For us, before we make this beginning stage, obviously you have the naysayers. And for me is, I notice that gap, and there's so much passion in me that says, hey guys, there's a different lifestyle out there. You don't have to be a statistic. Come with us. Let's change the culture. Let's teach people. Let's pay it forward. Let's be the best person we can be, and keep it as simple as possible. And however you want to do it, you're your own individual. Go ahead and do it. Just, you know, don't run naked down the street, but just go ahead and do it. And life is so much abundant when you do that.
Yeah, because life was given to live to the fullest. It's a gift. Live to the fullest. Too many people are just coasting, going through the motions, you know, not being the best that they were designed to be. And they're allowing other people to put a barrier, a limit on who they are and what they can accomplish. There are so many stories of, you know, and some people, they give up, and the first obstacle that come in their way, they give up. I mean, look at the divorce rate in our country, 39% and above. You know, that's like almost 4 out of 10 marriages end up in divorce. Why?
Well, we can honestly say it this way. You have one, right? From your past? I have one.
I'm talking from experience.
We have 100% divorce rate, guys.
You know, and the thing about it is we give up too early. The first obstacle that come in people's way, we are living as if we're living in a disposable society, but that's another human being.
No, I'm gonna own up and man up, and I will honestly say it this way, and you're probably gonna be on the same trajectory as this. If that did not incur in my life, I would not be the person I am today. And it's part of the journey. And we're gonna take, obviously mine was heavy on both sides, you know, heavy on one side with what occurred, and I'm not gonna go into details, but guys, we're going to go on the D word for a second here. It's a two-way street, guys. So one builds up the other one to cause something, and it's a teeter-totter effect, guys. So don't be like, well, my wife did this or my husband did this.
Oh, I'm blaming other people. Yeah.
Take ownership and just admit, even if you were wrong and you didn't do it, just take ownership and make yourself a better person.
But Chad, think about people who've been to one bad situation and they say, I will never do that again. I'm never going to fall in love again. That's not for me because of one bad situation, you know, and that's giving up on life. Because one person disappointed you doesn't mean that everybody is going to disappoint you. You just got to be a little more cautious, learn from your mistakes, and be more cautious and take things a little slower, but don't forget about it. Don't give up. When too many people give up too early. I mean, look at the people, you know, and I'm thinking about like Abraham Lincoln, president, you know, one of the most loved presidents, you know, this country. He lost, you know how many times he lost the election? At least 7 times. Sergio Garcia, successful professional golfer. He played 80 majors before he won one. He didn't give up. Too many people are giving up too early. Chad, we need to keep swinging. Wayne Gretzky, I love this quote. He said, you only miss 100% of the shots you do not take. You only miss 100% of the shots you do not take. Learn from our mistakes. We're going to make mistakes. We're human. But the fact is, what can I learn from this? What can I learn from this? That's a very powerful question we can ask ourselves. What can I learn from this situation? I'm not here to tell people life is a smooth sailing all, but it's how you adjust your sails. How you adjust your sails will determine where you go, the direction you take, and you have that power.
I'm gonna bring this up a little bit, and one of my listeners can correct me if I'm wrong on this, and I know especially what it is, and it's a family member, and I know she's gonna listen to this because it just, the analogy I'm gonna give is perfect. She was a huge hurricane hunter, so she flew into hurricanes.
Woo!
Turned around. She's a wild, amazing family member, and you think I'm a warrior, she's a complete beast. We'll just use that term. I want her to correct me if I'm wrong on this, and I'm sure I'll get the correction text about 5 minutes after this podcast gets released. But when she flew in a hurricane, the further into the storm you got, the more winds it got increased, and more the current, the waves, and everything increased. So guys, if we're telling you this, especially in business, the eye is calm. So you sit there, you restart, you redirect, and you go. So if you're going through any direction, I'm gonna use the hurricane analogy, guys. If you're entering a storm, you're only gonna be going halfway through the storm. You're gonna have a little break, and then you can readjust and go back through it again. And on the opposite side of it, yes, it's going from weak to strong. But if you're in the eye and you go the opposite way, it's going strong to weak.
Amen.
So it gets easier on the other end.
And Chad, if people think, well, this is it. Everything is for a season. Everything is for a season. This too shall pass. I mean, look, we just, Hurricane Ida. It's not going to stay in Louisiana and that part of the country forever. It's almost died already. So everything is for a season. And that's the magic of the human being. We can ride it out. Ride it out until believe that this too shall pass. I'm just going to stick with it until it comes to an end. And better days are coming. Better days are coming. Believe it. It's only when you believe it, then you're going to receive it. When you start believing it, then you're going to receive it. And those self-talk, better days are coming.
Yeah, and we're gonna end it here in about 5 minutes here, but I want to explain it to this people. So when we at the beginning we were talking about leveling. So like I said with the podcast, level 1, level 2, level 3. When I decided to make this jump down here, I was discussing it with the same person that we were talking about the storm, and she brought a lot of wisdom out and said, "This is the next level," which means you're going to the next level, which means you're gonna have to relearn all your finances. You're gonna have to relearn how to do everything. Not relearn, but just increase your learning.
Yeah.
And what is required at this level is going to be a lot different than what was required at the first level. So it's a challenge, man. And if you don't jump, how are you going to fall or even go up?
Yeah, if you want to walk on water, you have to get out of the boat.
Or be Jesus.
He'll help you. He'll help you. He'll hold your hand.
Hey, you know what? He's definitely a great parachute for me, and I'm gonna say it that way. So it's my life completely changed when I went to Christ. So it's
amen.
We'll like I said prior to recording, man, we are free to talk about him, God, wherever, any Christianity on any of my podcasts. But I'm gonna honor your time. We are getting near supper. So
I have one closing comment.
Have at her.
All you people who are listening, you are the star in the movie of your life. Make every day an Oscar-winning performance. Thank you, Chad.
No problem. You have a great day.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you very much.
Okay.